Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles, and you join us just in time to catch T-Pack here in the original Soviet Tier 9 medium tank, the T-54, as he rushes to close down a threat to the cap circle from the flank over there. The enemy 45 TP. First shot hurts him but doesn't kill him. Can he get a second shot? He can, there we go. 145 TP down. Enemy, however, are still capping, and the friendly tanks that are pushing forward to challenge that cap do not have an awful lot of health left. The Emerald 2 is a one-shot kill. The AE Phase 1 may be a one-shot kill, depending on who's shooting at him. But they've managed to push the enemy tanks out of the cap, although only just. So T-Pack, look at this. 50 TP prototype, completely oblivious to the fact that there's an enemy medium tank 30 meters away from his flank. So that was kind of cheeky, but it paid off. He's seriously dissuaded that guy from making any further attempts to get into this cap circle. Unfortunately, both of the other friendly tanks in the cap are now definitely one-shot kills. The thing is, this battle is almost certainly not going to be decided by capping with so many enemy tanks in such close proximity. So somebody, at T-Pack, has decided that he's the tank for the job, is going to have to provide some kind of overwatch on the approach to the cap circle. Give advance warning of any enemy tanks coming, and oh, hang on a second, that would be very dangerous. We don't want any enemy tanks up there. No, you can back right off. Of course, T-Pack isn't going to follow him over the rise because there's a whole bunch of enemy tanks on the far side. They will be just waiting to put shots into him, and in fact, there's a Progetto on the flank as well, so yeah. That's exactly what he was worried about when he killed the 45 TP, an enemy tank in that kind of flanking position. But the appearance of that enemy Tiger P on the ridge, even though he didn't fire a shot and he didn't do a single point of damage, has scared the rest of the friendly tanks right out of that cap circle. And to be honest, I can't really blame them, with the Progetto 65 on the flank and enemy tanks potentially rolling over the top of the ridge to spot them in the cap circle at any second. Given how much health they have, that cap circle is an extremely hazardous place for them to be. So, T-Pack has decided that he's going to need to be a little bit more aggressive in covering the enemy approaches to the cap circle from this side of the map, and he's not the only member of the team who's come to this conclusion. There's an Emil 1 up here as well. Unfortunately, the Emil 1 is going to be about as useful in this position as tits on a fish, as we shall shortly see. T-25-2 over there. T-Pack has been spotted, but it's not the T-25 that he needs to worry about. He's taken shots from an enemy Udes. Well, he's taken shots from everybody. So far, he hasn't taken any damage. Not quite sure how. But there is a little bit of low ground here where he can stay safe from the enemy tank destroyer. Just not from the Udes 1. What is the Emil doing? What is he shooting at? Because it's not that guy. He's in the perfect position to punish him every time he pops up over the crest there to shoot down into T-Pack. And I don't know what the Emil 1 is shooting at, but it's definitely not that guy. T-Pack needs to get out of this position, kill the T-25 and secure the approach to the cap circle, but he can't do it while that guy's behind him. And the Emil 1, no, he is actually shooting at him. He's just doing an incredibly bad job of it. And he's not the only one shooting at him, but everybody else is doing an incredibly bad job of it. And, oh, okay, well, that works too. Alright, that is suboptimal. Not ideal. So T-Pack's out of this fight. On the bright side, he does have 3 surviving allies. And they know more or less where the Progetto 65 is, and they know exactly where the T-25-2 is. More or less. Oh, and they've killed the T-25-2, so now it's 3 surviving allies, 2 of whom are autoloaders, and 1 of which is now dead. I was going to say, what could possibly go wrong? It wasn't me. I didn't jinx it. I didn't get time to say it. Anyway, still, the Emil's moving up. It's true that the Progetto is an autoloader, Well, it's an auto reloader. They're Italian. They work slightly differently. But I don't think it's got enough firepower in one go to eliminate both of those tanks. So sticking together is good. Doubles the chances that one of them is going to survive an encounter with the Progetto. So this is good to see. Of course, they have to find the Progetto. Oh, and it looks like the Progetto has found them first. He's killed the Emil, and he has been spotted, which means that the Scorpion G, right now, should be charging him down in order to kill him before he gets his reload. And it's difficult to tell from this angle exactly what the Scorpion G is doing, but looking at the map, looks like he's more concerned, oh dear, with saving his capture point progress, and he's allowed the Progetto to reload. He's backing off. The Progetto's closing in. He's hit him again and again. Oh, this is not... and yeah. Well, suddenly it's one-on-one. And these are not the best possible circumstances. The Progetto is now capping out. Now, if he's got less position of enemy tanks on, he's going to know where T-Pack was. He's not necessarily going to know that T-Pack is stuck. Because the UDES, well, he might have reported it in team chat, but he might not. All we know for sure is the Progetto is not capping anymore. So now you've got to try to put yourself into the head of the Progetto. Does he know that T-Pack is stuck here? Or did the UDES quit out of the battle when he died and didn't bother telling anybody? Because if that's the case, as far as the Progetto is aware, he's now in a one-on-one with the T-54, who could be anywhere by now, and he doesn't necessarily know how much or little health T-Pack has remaining. So advertising where you are by sitting in the cap circle under those circumstances, possibly not the smartest thing to do. On the other hand, if the UDES did say in team chat, okay, I might have died, but haha, that dumbass T-54 got himself stuck, and he's on extremely low health, that puts a different perspective on things, because if the Progetto knows that, and he was in a position to win by capping, because at the point where he killed the Scorpion G, there was still 3 minutes of this game left, and there's no way T-Pack is going to be able to prevent him from winning by capping. But if he knew that, and he's given up the opportunity to get the cap, and is instead coming for the final kill, that would be an extremely foolish and risky thing to do. Can you hear? I think I can hear him. Can't see him, obviously, but I can definitely hear another tank engine that isn't the T-54. Then again, there is, of course, always another option. I don't think that the UDES did tell the Progetto exactly what had happened to T-Pack. And the reason I don't think that is because if that Progetto knew exactly where T-Pack was and how much health he had left, he would have been here by now. Bearing that in mind, what I think is actually happening right now is that the Progetto 46 is actually searching the map around the last reported position of T-Pack's T-54 in an attempt to find him and kill him before this match expires, which is going to happen in about 1.5 minutes. Now that is an incredibly risky thing to be doing if you're in a lightly armoured Italian medium tank and you're on such low health that you can be killed by a T-54's 100mm gun. But he can only be killed by T-Pack's 100mm gun if he's in a very specific position, because he is pretty much going to have to appear more or less exactly in front of T-Pack for his gun elevation to be able to fire on any tank that appears on the crest of that ridge. If the Progetto appears anywhere else, he's going to kill him. The question is, where is he? Because he doesn't have much time left. I can hear him. Where is he? There he is. Oh, they've proximity detected each other. So, yeah, he knows exactly where T-Pack is now. There's 30 seconds left. He still has time to go to the ledge where the UDES was shooting from. But he doesn't. And he just drives straight into T-Pack's gun. So T-Pack's, against all of the odds, manages to win that game anyway. Okay, that one was a bit short, so we're going to have another one for you. This in the Object 260 is Crisis 36 from the YOLO clan, and yep, it's Pearl River again. We seem to be seeing a lot of Pearl River replays lately. And some Pearl River replays with some very, very amusing outcomes. And I think that's because the map is so new. That people are getting into all kinds of trouble because they just don't know the map layout, and those who do know the map layout are having a really, really good time here. Like the Lynx 6x6 that he just saw off with his first shot in the middle of the map. This is where all the heavies and the mediums comes to duke it out. You don't come up here in a armoured car. Likewise, this is an extremely dodgy place to be alone in an autoloader like the TVP. If you can't kill what's in front of you with one reload, and you don't have anybody you can back up and hide behind to take hits for you, you'd best get the hell out of there and not sit around waiting to get your ammo away, or have an exit plan slightly better than that. I especially liked, by the way Crisis angled up to provide cover for the T-62A behind him. Oh shit. Oh, that was an Object 704. That would have seriously hurt if it had hit. There's an RU-251 down there who has absolutely no idea that Crisis is here. He does now. Run away, little tank. Run away as fast as you can. Oh, artillery. Is he still detected? Because the Object 704 is waiting to shoot through the gaps in the houses. You know what? If you don't know whether you're detected or not, err on the side of caution. So he's making his way around here, where he can't possibly be shot at by the 704. Friendly Panzer 58 over there in what seems to be an extremely one-sided fight, but yeah, Crisis has problems of his own here. A Type 5 Heavy, probably the Foch 155 before too long, a VK 100, and oh, and a Baraska's just joined the party as well. Well, under these circumstances, given that tanks like the Type 5 Heavy exist for no other reason than to sell gold ammunition, I think it's entirely understandable that Crisis has elected to roll his face all over his 2 key and load the skill, because let's face it, getting shot up by gold ammo is exactly what tanks like the Type 5 Heavy are for. I also think it's pretty remarkable that the Panzer 58 has not elected to bottle out and run for the hills, and is instead standing and fighting, and he's being backed up by the T-62A. There's also a 53 TP sneaking around this cluster of enemy tanks. Well, you know, as sneakily as a 53 TP is capable of moving, and is about to introduce these guys, we hope, to an extreme and unwelcome dose of surprise butt sex. And the 53 TP has managed to kill the ISM, although he's taken one hell of a beating in the process, and he's gone down, which is unfortunate, but he took one of them with him, and he's managed to divert the attention of some of these enemy tanks and relieve the pressure on the beleaguered Crisis here. This has been one hell of a fight. But it's not over yet. They've killed the Type 5 Heavy, they've killed the ISM, but there's still the VK-100 to deal with. The Barask appears to be occupied with something else in the meantime. Don't know what happened to the Foch 155. I would have expected to have seen him long before now. He was just around the corner to the left. And yet, no sign of him for the last 3 or 4 minutes. There is one other enemy tank who's about to get involved in the party, of course. And that's the enemy Renegade, as Crisis is trying to snipe the VK's cupola. He's got a shot. Possibly, no, he doesn't have the gun depression for it, at the Barask. There's a Carnarvon in the background, although he is a lot further away than it would appear. You can see his position on the minimap. And there's the Renegade. So, once again, they're outnumbered. Although the Renegade is taking a ferocious beating, he's dead. That's great news. The Barask has appeared to decide, yeah, screw this, I'm out of here. Luckily, the TVP didn't take his example earlier. The T-62A, why, Crisis, are you not backing him up? It's as if Crisis's spider sense was tingling. There's the Foch 155. T-62A backs off. No idea how the Foch managed to miss the side of a T-62A from that kind of range. Crisis going for the rangefinder, which is the only real weak spot at the front of this tank. Yelling at the T-62A to back off. They've managed to kill the VK. The Foch is getting shot at from the flank. I'm not entirely sure why he thought it was a good idea to give the side of the tank to an Object 260, but I'm just grateful that he did. And as quickly as that, Unfortunately, the Panzer 58 has died, but he gave a damn good account of himself. And these three guys, look at this wreckage, this graveyard of enemy tanks. Between the three of them, with some assistance from artillery, that was one hell of a fight. Unfortunately, there's now an awful lot of open ground that he's spotted. And there's an Object 704 over there. Oh no. That was a bit of a brown trouser moment. Yeah, he wasted no time whatsoever crossing those paddy fields, getting in the cover of the rocks here, because that was a very exposed and open field. And see what he did there? He basically, he's trolling the sixth sense indicator. He's trying to figure out exactly where he's getting shot at from. If he pokes and then immediately pulls back too quickly to get shot at, if sixth sense goes off, he knows there's an enemy tank that's spotted him at some point from that location. But with this amount of health remaining, you definitely don't want to get hit by an Object 704. That gun will not do you any favours. Unfortunately, he does appear to be kind of stuck here now, because you know that the 704 is still around. I mean, you can see just looking at the team list. You know he's not going to have moved from that position, and you know he's just sitting here waiting for the opportunity to end Crisis's Object 260. You see, Sixth Sense doesn't work the same way the equivalent skill does in World of Warships. In World of Warships, you get a lot more information from it. It not only tells you how you've been spotted, but exactly for how long you are spotted. There's the 704. It bounced. Wait, is he? He's backing off. He might have the opportunity for... he's going to be a blind shot. Probably didn't hit. The Lerva, however, is still spotted, and he's receiving the majority of attention from the team, including the artillery, so that can't be pleasant for him. The thing about the Sixth Sense skill in World of Tanks, though, while it is very, very useful, it lets you know that you have been spotted. But it only lets you know 3 seconds after you were spotted, and it doesn't stay lit up while you are spotted, it goes off. So it's a very useful skill, but you have to use your own judgment to get the most out of it. Still popping out and taking those blind shots at where the 704 last was. If that Carnarvon could possibly move his arse up. No, he doesn't have time for that, he's going to risk it. Motor forward. Oh, that was a great shot. Not sticking around to celebrate though. The T-62A's finished the RU-251 off anyway, but he needed to get over the river, get into the dead ground under the ridge where he's out of the line of fire of the Lerva, and more importantly the Object 704. But the Object knows he's coming now, and he's very much a one-shot kill for the Object's big old gun. The question is, where is that Object 704? And I don't think, given the circumstances, he's going to have moved too far from where he was last spotted, which was just up here and around the corner. Here we go. And yeah, there he is. Oh, and his gun is pointing this way. Right, I'm pausing things here because a couple of remarkable things are about to happen in very, very short succession. So, the Object 704, gun loaded, knows he can take a hit from the Object 260 and survive. Here he comes. He takes the hit. Crisis bends over, sticks his head between his legs and kisses his ass goodbye. Slowing things down to 25% speed here because I don't know how the Object managed to fuck this up, but somehow he found a way to do it. Yeah. But oh, here comes the artillery. T-62A kills the Object. Crisis, gun loaded, puts a shot into the artillery. Not enough to kill him. Oh no. Arty fires. Kills himself with his own splash damage. Yeah, that really happened. And somehow, I have no idea how, thanks only to the incompetence of the enemy team, Crisis survives an encounter at point-blank range with a fully loaded Object 704 and the enemy artillery. Assisted, once again, it has to be said, by that T-62A, without whose finishing off the Object 704 would have meant that Crisis would have had to do it, which means the gun wouldn't have been loaded in time to put the shot into the artillery, which means the artillery wouldn't have been on such low health that it was going to kill itself with the splash damage from its own gun. And that just leaves the Lorraine 155, and he is a one-shot kill. And that, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, was Crisis 36 in the Object 260 on Pearl River. Hope you enjoyed it, and as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.